Okay, friends, this is Mrs. R again. We're continuing on page 161 in your science book on rocks and minerals. There are about 2,000 different minerals in the world, but only about 100 of them are common. Salt, sulfur, and copper are common useful minerals. The lead in your pencil is made from mineral graphite. Gold and silver are beautiful and valuable minerals. Some very rare and costly minerals, such as diamond, rubies, and emeralds, are called gems. Ooh, gems are so beautiful. So there's some pictures of those. Now, we're not going to take the time to read this. There's something to do making crystals, but it may be something you might want to try with your family at home, as it is a very fun and interesting thing to do. Okay, I added a few crystal making ideas of something that some students did at a culinary arts school. Culinary arts is learning how to make fancy, amazing culinary delights. One of our vocabulary words we learned this year. So you might enjoy that. So I hope you enjoyed that. What you just saw was culinary arts students making crystals from sugar, a super saturated solution that you can read about on page 161. And like I said, you may want to try it at home. If your parents are up for that, it's something you would definitely need help with from your parents. And it's just, you probably aren't going to make something quite on that scale, as theirs took 6 months to create. But still something fun you can try at home. Okay, we're on page 162, valuable soil. Soil is important to us because it provides many of the materials which plants need in order to make food. We all depend upon green plants and good soil for our food. Although there is soil the world over, not all soil is the same. Some soils are dark brown, others are grayish, yellowish, or reddish. The color comes from the different minerals found in the soil. For example, reddish soil has large amounts of iron in it. It is part of God's plan to have different kinds of soil. The different soils are suited to the different crops they grow. Rice needs to grow in soil that can hold a great amount of water. Blueberries and cranberries grow best in acidic soil, and so forth. Sorry about that. Layers of soil. Although most land is covered by soil, soil is not the same depth the world over. In some places, the layer of soil may be only 2 inches deep. In other places, you could dig a hole 10 feet deep before you come to the layer of rock underneath the soil. In most places, there are 2 layers of soil. When holes are dug in the earth, you are often able to see where the 2 layers of soil meet. The upper layer of the soil is called topsoil. This is the layer of soil which supports plant life. Topsoil is more fertile than the layer of soil beneath it, because topsoil contains more of the ingredients which plants need in order to make food. The best topsoil is a mixture of sand, silt, clay, and humus. Sand is made up of coarse particles of rock. It allows air into the soil. Silt is the name for medium-sized particles of soil. Very fine particles of soil are called clay. Clay holds water in the soil. Do you see how the sand, silt, clay, and humus work together to make the best topsoil? Beneath the layer of topsoil is the subsoil. Since subsoil does not contain as much humus as topsoil, it is not as fertile. Subsoil often contains partly weathered rocks. Under the soil. Below the subsoil is a layer of rock which geologists call bedrock. It is part of the Earth's crust. The crust of the Earth is a layer of rock which begins beneath the soil and goes down about 5 to 25 miles below the Earth's surface. The Earth's crust is much thinner because the oceans than it is beneath the the Earth's crust is much thinner beneath the oceans than it is beneath the land. Men have drilled and dug into the Earth's crust, but no one has ever gone beneath the crust to the layers below. As far as we know, all the Earth's creatures make their homes above the crust, on or near the Earth's surface. If the Earth were as small as an apple, the crust would be about as thin as the peel of an apple. The layer of the Earth beneath the crust is called the mantle. If the Earth were apple-sized, the mantle would be about as thick as the apple. Geologists believe that the mantle is made mostly of solid, hot, dense rock. In some places, however, the rock has melted. This hot, liquid rock is called magma. The mantle goes down about 1,800 miles. Scientists believe the temperature of the mantle goes from about 900 degrees Fahrenheit to nearly 4,000 degrees Fahrenheit, which is hot enough to melt steel. Like an apple, the Earth has a core at its center. Geologists think that part of the core is melted iron and nickel. The innermost portion of the core is probably solid because of the great pressure of all the rock above it. Some scientists think that the temperature reaches over 7,000 degrees Fahrenheit. So you just want to remember core, mantle, crust. They believe the core is solid, mantle is not. It's like melted little liquidy rock, and then the crust, which is the part we live on. There's the brown thrasher. That's one of the birds you're going to need to know for your test. And let's answer a few questions. What is a geologist? Geo means earth, and ologist is someone who studies the earth. So it literally means somebody, earth studier. What is the characteristics of a mineral? If you can't remember, you're going to look back. This one right here on page 160. Number 1, a mineral is never man-made, and it is never made of things which were once alive. So that big geode, candy geode we saw that was covered in chocolate would not be considered a mineral because it's man-made and it's made out of sugar crystals. Number 2, a particular mineral is always made up of exactly the same kind of atoms, no matter where on Earth it is found. And number 3, the atoms of a mineral are always arranged in a pattern, orderly pattern that often form crystals. Number 3, what two things is soil made of? Well, it's made of humus and minerals. Remember, humus is mostly that decayed plants. Number 4, why do plants grow better in topsoil than in subsoil? Well, topsoil is a lot more fertile, of course, because it has humus and it has things that contain nitrogen in it, which most plants need nitrogen in order to grow well. Number 5, of what is the Earth's crust made? It is rock, or bedrock. Number 6, describe the layers of the Earth below the crust. Well, the mantle is mostly solid, hot rock, which is melted in some places to form magma. The core is at the center of the Earth and is probably solid. And then, of course, we have the crust that we live on. Okay, hope you learned a few things here, friends. We'll do a little more review next time. And if you didn't see part 1, page 160 with the review, you're going to want to watch that as well. Also, make sure that you're studying for upcoming tests and quizzes using Kahoots, or you can use flashcards and study guides that were given to you. Okay, just a little bit more review. You're going to want to know these few birds. Now, of course, we know this one because it's our state bird, which is the, yes, California quail. Nicely done. This one is called the brown thrasher. That's the one that was on the page we just read. And this one is something you might see on the Bugs Bunny Roadrunner show. Get it? Bugs Bunny Roadrunner show. This is a Roadrunner, yes. Always running from Wile E. Coyote. If any of you still watch Bugs Bunny Roadrunner show, I don't know, it's kind of old school, but still. Roadrunner, brown thresher, and California quail. Thank you, friends. Have a good day.